What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? So listen, I want to come over here and try to y'all. It's so itchy up under here. Don't make no sense. I want to come on here tonight, right, and try to educate myself or try to get as much information on this as possible. Over there on TikTok, that's why I hope they don't shut TikTok down because a lot of my information I get from over there, right? Over there on TikTok, there's a big explosion. There's a big race war going on between Native Americans and the indigenous, and indigenous black people. They're over there. This guy, I think his name is I think it's Jolie or something, Joyiee or something. I can't pronounce it, but I've talked to him. We chat back and forth a little bit. And there's another Indian named Knocket over there. He spells his name Nooket. Me and him talk sometime. Like I might message him or I might ask the other guy, have he talked to him or something like that. But they got a big thing going on. He has this platform. It's an Indian guy. He has this platform, right? And he's saying that black Americans, black people are not the Native Americans. And there's people up under his thing that comes on saying that black people are pretendians and we're not the true Native Americans. These are the comments that they saying, like, that black people trying to take over everything. They trying to claim everything. They trying to say everything is theirs. And how when Christopher Columbus came over here, the black people weren't here. They were the first ones to come. And like the way he runs his segment, like if people say they're Cherokee, he wants to know what tribe and this and that. And they can't tell him much other than the fact that they're Cherokee or something like that. He's saying that that's not true. How come you like somewhere grandmom and granddaddy done told you a lie? Because how come they don't know no Cherokee people or whatever? And a lot of black people, I was one of the ones when I came on there and seen him. At first, I had got mad and I called him a $5 Indian, and other people do too. And they be going back and forth. But his channel, so he muted me. But then I thank God he didn't block me because he really has a good conversation going. And he's showing, black indigenous people like in their, Indian outfits and stuff with their hats and stuff on. And they're saying that the true Indian is the ones that know how to speak their native language and speak in tongue and this and that. And then sometimes, a lot of times, if black people come on there and say something that's finna wrap us up with them, like he'd get them off the live, he'd throw them off or something. Like this guy was on there talking about he had a tribal card, a black guy, and he was saying that wasn't, he got the guy off saying that ain't for them, he said that ain't for y'all, that's for us. So it's this big old war. But my thing is, I don't comment on there like I used to, because like I said, he showed me humbleness when he muted me, because I don't want to go away because I want to see what's going on or whatever. But it's just a whole bunch of stuff that they saying that we ain't. If we are Indians, we mixed with a native during slavery. We not the real Indians. And then there was another lady from some parts of Spanish territory or something, and she called in and wanted to know, she went on the live and wanted to know what do they need to do to get these blacks under control, because they over there trying to say that they was the first people over there where you turn. It's just a whole bunch of stuff going on with this conversation, right? So I tried to go on Google and find out what was going on, and it was stuff talking about race wars and stuff like that, but it wasn't enough to my liking to kind of pinpoint me where I needed to go, because, I'm another one. I've been told, that I'm Cherokee or whatever, but every time somebody black comes on there and say that they Cherokees or they different things, he's saying something about that's not true, or I don't know what's going on. So Y'all, are we Indians or are we Africans? Because a lot of people on there, I'm just telling y'all about the comments I was reading. There was people making comments saying that we not Indians, that we just was embarrassed about what happened to us in slavery, so we coming over there trying to claim Indians, and y'all don't know the dances, y'all don't know this, and y'all don't know that. It's like I said, it's a big thing going on over there. He got something going. So let me go on here. The closest I could get to where somebody can halfway tell me something was on Quora. And it's, why do many people claim that the real Native Americans are black? I know that this question isn't exactly related to genetics, but it's been something that's been on my mind for a while now, as I've been seeing more and similar claims lately. I've seen people say completely erroneous statements like the real natives are copper color and black skin and described by Columbus. The ones you see in the media are Siberian immigrants who mixed with Europeans. The Olmec of pre-Columbian Mexico were black Africans who spread their African culture to the rest of the Mesoamerica. Africans were already in America before Siberians crossed over. Black were indigenous to every continent. But see, he was saying that we wasn't here. He was saying that we wasn't there when Columbus got there. He don't know what Columbus talking about. And he's saying us going on Google, getting this information, or going, looking online, that they telling us anything and we running with it. It's not some fringe unheard of belief either. It's already made its way into academy, and there are a few well-known people who buy into it, such as rapper Lord Jamar. I ain't never heard of him. If you go to YouTube and search Native Americans are black, you will come across countless videos making similar claims. Go to Instagram and look up tags Aborigine, Olmecs, African Americans ain't African. This tag has 36,000 posts alone. And you will see what I'm talking about. These people will even deny the transatlantic slave trade and claim there were no ships with enslaved Africans that ever came to America's shores. It's true there are some Afro-natives with ancestry from both groups, but that's due to colonization, slavery, and history of America after 1942. It's been called anti-black and a grape baby born out of Asians who wish they were native and Spaniards. Just because I stated there's no scientific, genetic, anthropological, culture, legitimate, whatever, historical evidence whatsoever to support those ridiculous claims. I know most people don't know a lot about human migration, which is okay, but to throw out all scientific evidence to make some racist claims is something else. I've seen similar claims on this sub before. Fortunately, they're devoted to oblivion. Scientists know that Native Americans came from Asia, yet it's still controversial to some for some reason. There's evidence of Polynesian contact and interbreeding with natives too, but that's a different story. Y'all, they on there just disrespecting under his comments, and people going on live like, I don't know why they can't claim their own history and they not Indians and this and that. But y'all, mostly every culture that I've seen since I've been following history started out black, like the Chinese. I seen the original black Chinese, and over time, when they started leaving, they when they was in the continent, they was black Chinese. But when they left and came back and started mixing, they came back white. Same thing with the Jews. They started off black when they left. When they came back, they were white. And so I'm trying to figure out, is there something like that going on with this stuff here? A lot of people will argue that there is no evidence of native South Americans being the people that populated Polynesia, when the reverse is what occurred. Not populated, but the Polynesians were already a seafaring people when they made contact in South America. That is to say, people will claim a lot of bullshit, best just to ignore it. Let me see. Are you stupid? Paleo Americans have, it's a big war. Are you stupid? Paleo Americans have no connection to Native Americans. And Native Americans being from Asia are two things that cannot mix. Because the guy that's on there, that's the Indian, he kind of looked like he got European in him, and people saying that he was one of the $5 Indians that was white that passed for Indian, and he kind of looked like he got European in him to me. But he's saying he don't. And they on there telling him too that he came out of Asia. He's saying he didn't come out of Asia. It's a big old thing over there. Okay, back to what I was saying. Are you stupid? Paleo Americans have no connection to Native Americans, and Native Americans being from Asia are two things that cannot mix. Scientists attest to Native Americans being from Asia because of the Paleo American evidence proving that a people migrated from Siberia carrying a haplogroup Q and spread it across the Americans. That's why Native Americans are attested to be from Asia, i.e. related to Siberians, and why Paleo Americans and Native Americans are obviously claiming the exact thing. People take brown, dark skin mean that the person's bloodline originated. Oh, I thought my screen would blank. People take brown, dark skin to mean that the person's bloodline originated in modern Africa. I mean, we all originated in Africa, but in ancient times, it's nonsense. I keep trying to explain it to people, but feel like it's pro-black to say. There's no talking sense and history into some people. People don't want to hear the truth about black people because it makes them uncomfortable. The Native Americans that we see today are extremely racist towards black people. Y'all, they don't like black people on that thing. If you don't believe me, go over to TikTok and look at some of the slurs they call black people. The latest term was wabos. W-A-B-O-S. Wabos. Never even heard it. I know they calling us pretendians. They sling this term around at least 150 million times a day. And it is offensive to them when you bring up the fact they look exactly like Siberians and that their culture are identical. They want all black people to be associated with Africa, but they do not want to be associated with their Asian history. And let me say this. They saying just because they like, yeah, all y'all that's black that got woolly hair, y'all are Africans. I'm just telling y'all what I be hearing them say. All of y'all blacks, there are black Indians, but those are, and they're not pure with straight hair. They're mixed with something. But if you are black and you got curly hair, you are African. It's people on there, y'all, black people going on there saying that they want to apologize for us because we don't know where we came from and our history got wiped out. That's why we over here trying to claim they land. It's a whole bunch of stuff going on over there. They want us all to believe they have been here in the Americas for over 35 years. They have no ancient artifacts to prove it whatsoever. We are just supposed to believe them. But if I know the government the way I know the government, one day the government is going to tell the truth about where these Asian looking Native Americans truly come from. After all of that free money will end. After that, maybe they will recognize and respect true true Americans that are mislabeled as African Americans. Does Wabo mean white Asians bitter over Siberian ancestry? I'm a Florida Somalio. I am not Asian and definitely not from Siberia. So sorry, babe. Not a Wabo. And also notice there is no negative acronym for white people who claim to be indigenous from people like you. Why is that? Let me see if I can find anything else. I mean, y'all, they on there going off. Like, he had a picture of black people that's on TikTok, in they Indian outfits and stuff. Now, this is what I feel like. I personally, y'all know I don't know much about culture, but I have a little intuition that guides me. But I believe that it's all due to the money. That's why this is a big deal. They don't want us claiming that money, because if we not Indians or got a certain percent of Indian drop of blood in us that rule us to being Indians, why are there some people that I know that's black that are getting checks and get to go maybe once or twice to the reservations and stay if it's not for black people? And I don't know if they said you had to have, like, I forgot how many drops of blood you have to be considered Indian. And they saying even if you don't have that amount, that still doesn't rule you out as being Indian. That just rules you out for being to receive the money. I think if you take the money away, all of this would go away. I think that's what it's about. I think they don't want us saying that we Indians, because that means they have to share the pie with us. You see what I'm saying? Anytime money is involved, it's going to be a problem. I don't care what's going on. How is these black people that I'm reading these stories about on the internet, they suing some of these people and for stealing land and this and that, and they winning? So if we ain't got Indians in us, or we ain't Indian, how is that? Let me tell you something about white people in the government. You ain't getting a drop of their money unless something is known fact. Anything that got, now you can talk about whatever you want to talk about. You can do what you want to do. But them people ain't cutting you no check unless some facts is on the table. And I can't hardly find nothing. Let me see if I can find a little bit more. Why do Indians not like black people? Let me see something. When tribal nations expel their black members, in 1979, an Oklahoma woman named Johnny Mae Austin stopped getting mail from the Muscogee Nation. There were no more announcements of meetings. Don't do that. That was trying to cut me off. There were no more announcements of meetings, notices of elections, or news of monetary settlements. The problem wasn't postal. Austin's Muscogee citizen had been erased by a new Muscogee constitution in which citizens was defined by blood. Words that named a fraught crossroads in Native and African American histories. The Muscogee, I don't know if I'm Muscogee. I've never seen this a day in my life. Muscogee people are referred to as Creeks, were among the tribes that once enslaved people of African descent, and that were required in the wake of Civil War to accept them as tribal citizens. A tribal enrollment census around the start of the 20th century split the Muscogees into groups that were separated, but by no means equal. One row The by blood roster listed people of Creek heritage, while the second Freedman roll named Black Creek citizens, the formerly enslaved and their descendants. Austin's ancestors appeared on the second roll with the new Constitution. Muskogee citizenship was reserved for those on the roll and their lineal descendants. And so Austin, after 47 years of being Creek, found her tribal identity legally and politically erased. As a journalist, Caleb Gale recounts in We Refuse to Forget a true story of Black Creek's American identity and power Riverhead. Austin had filled the walls of her home with pictures of Black Creek aunties and uncles, interspersed with the teaching license of family members who had once led Black Creek schools. Her people, she recalled, grew up on Creek land, sang Creek songs, picked up curse words, and joked in the Muskogee language, and felt that they were Creek to the bone. You'd hear similar stories from other people of African descent who had grown up amongst the so-called five citizen tribes: Muskogee, Cherokee, and Choctaw, Chickasaw, and Seminole. Yet the guy on here saying that these tribes of Africans aren't real. I mean, these tribes of Indians aren't real. By blood decision was followed by similar restrictions issued to other tribes. Here were people whose ancestors had been enslaved by, married to, and emancipated from Native Americans. Many of them settled among Native communities and shared language, culture, and children across multiple generations. They had been accepted as members of those communities, even recognized as such by federal government. How could their expulsion possibly just be justified? The 19th century white Americans who designated the five tribes as civilized cited in support of the honorific in the fact that the groups maintained long-standing trade relations, had an interest in education and Christianity, adopted formal constitutions, and enslaved African people. The tribes which came from southeast had long occupied a realm of welfare and captivity by English settlers. Encouragement of the intertribal raid and trade slave economy, y'all know I can't use, that hurtled indigenous bodies into the world of Atlantic slavery. When Africans were dragged into the picture, the English paid Indians to hunt those who escaped. Sometimes black fugitives sought to go. Natives with varying result. Tribes incorporated, some killed or enslaved others. Born out of existing practice in New Columbia impositions, slaveholding amongst the five tribes developed hybrid forms. Though the familiar southern plantations were surely part of the picture, enslavement typically operated at a smaller and more intimate scale. In this terse summary of Buddy Cox and 21st Century Creek and the nephew of an influential chief, we owned some, we were some, and we slept with some. Black people could be chattel, socially integrated kin, marriage partners, or participating in emerging. Native groups such as Somalia, being deemed civilized, didn't protect the five tribes from forced displacement. As American planters sought to expand their empire of unfreedom across South, the five tribes stood in the way, and the United States embarked on a devastating series of land clearances. The tribes were forced to swap extensive areas in southeast for newer and smaller parcels in what they later called Indian Territory, today Oklahoma. With the passage of the Indian Removal Act 1830, tribes were driven west to Indian Territory on the deadly journeys now commonly referred to the Trail of Tears. As an historian, Alania E. Roberts recounts in I've Been Here All the While Black Freedom on Native Land. University of Pennsylvania, the 5 tribes were effectively compelled to become settler colonists themselves, displacing native groups in the West. They also brought with them enslaved black people, thus further extending the reach of American chattel slavery beyond Mississippi. The Indian Territory would have been a set of highly varied, sometimes kin-adjacent forms of enslavement began to harden, and Indian attitudes and practices edged closer to those of white Americans. Y'all, this is a lot to read. I ain't finna keep on going, but this was on New Yorker. But let me just say what I'm saying. This is what I don't understand when I go on there, right? When I'm in the chat. The Indians act like they more mad with the black people. They act like they more mad with us, right? For, let's say we wasn't Indians. They act like they more mad with us and holding hatred with us for just claiming the land or claiming the ancestry, right? Claiming the tribe. But they not mad at the people that suppressed them. They're not mad at the people that took their land. And it looks like to me they still trying to impress them. And they'll never be accepted. I'm just telling the truth what I see when I go in there. How was you mad at us for just saying, we Indians. Yeah, we part of the tribe. Yeah, we your family. How you mad at us for saying that and putting on some Indian clothes and how you mad at us for doing that, but you ain't mad at the people that came to y'all place, bought a shotgun, shot y'all, moved into y'all houses, didn't care about whatever house they embarked on, it was theirs. Put y'all out y'all houses, sent y'all on y'all way, or killed y'all. They took y'all frames of y'all pictures off y'all walls, erased y'all, and just sent y'all on y'all way. But y'all ain't mad at them. Y'all still, they friends with them on there. They friends with them on there, but they real people they don't want nothing to do with. I don't know. I don't get it. Well, it's a lot going on. When I go over there, I know they don't like black people. And I know if you get so far to try to say what you are and what your group, they want to know what tribe you come out of, this and that. But they know it's going to be the thing for black people all over the world. They can't tell you what tribe they came out of. They don't have no native tongue. Same thing with Africans. They can't tell you what tribe they come up out of Africa. They can't tell you none of this because they was taken away from their homes. Can't nobody tell you nothing. And see, that's the edge that they hold over people. They know we don't know much, but it is a few, like some of them black Indians that come out of the Caribbean. See, when they get to talking, they shut them off. He cut them off. Won't let them talk because, see, they finna rap some shit up. But he ain't gonna let you rap nothing up. But that's his life. He run it how he want to run it. But I think we know better than this. You know, we are African and we are Indian. I mean, that's just the bottom line. But they don't like us, y'all. I don't understand why. They do not like us. The only reason why I feel like they don't like us and they ain't claiming us because money is on the table. Hell, if I'm not mistaken, even Chris Tucker, if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on this. If I'm not mistaken, Chris Tucker did a DNA and found out that his bloodline wasn't in Africa. So some of these celebrities that got the money is now, I think Pharrell's family was. I think I saw something about Pharrell's, but I was more honed in on Chris Tucker's because Chris Tucker family wasn't from Africa. Now I know Oprah Winfrey family was. And she even found some white people in her family. A white farmer or something, a rich farmer or something, and he was real nice to her and he accepted her or whatever. But I just don't. I think it all boils down to money. But when he was arguing with one of the guys that was bringing him around to how we them folks, he cut him off. He didn't want to hear what he had to say. He wouldn't even let him finish talking, because every time somebody get on the road to be like, yeah, we them people, we them folks, they ass get pushed off of there. You hear me? So I don't know what's going on, but I know they do not like us, and they call us pretendians, and they talking about how we look like a fool, with this and that on, and y'all, it's a mess. I wonder if he even on here right now. Let me see if he on TikTok. Wait a minute, it's talking about they kicked me out of my phone for too many punches. Wait a minute. Let me see if he, and like I said, he cool with me. Like, it'd be all right when I go on there, because he talking, but every time somebody get ready to wrap something around, your ass got to go. I'm just trying to see if he on here, or see if I can spell his name so y'all can go on TikTok and see him. Okay, y'all, this is how y'all spell his name. It's Joyah. Y'all go over there. Joyah. Joyiah. He on to some. His platform be lit. His platform be lit with black folks and white folks and Indian folks on there fighting, and black folks talking about some, y'all ain't the ones, and I mean, we telling them we is. I don't know, y'all. It's a big old mess going on. But y'all check it out. I don't know. All right, bye, y'all.